Play, learn, grow 250 Montessori ideas for babies and toddlers. In a quiet little town, a team of dedicated therapists consisting of psychologists, social workers and family therapists gathered to fulfill a common mission. The team had been working in the field of family counseling for a long time and had helped countless families deal with their challenges. But they felt it was time to take their experience and knowledge out into the world to reach even more people. The idea for this book was born in one of these inspiring team meetings. The therapists realized they had an opportunity to pool their years of expertise and make it available to a wider audience. They wanted to create a resource that would support families during difficult times, a guide to help parents navigate the ups and downs of parenting, and a source of inspiration for anyone striving for a more fulfilling family life. So they began to put their thoughts, stories and best practices on paper. Each therapist contributed their expertise and unique perspective. The book became a collection of insights, exercises and case studies designed to help parents and families strengthen their bonds, manage conflict and create a loving, supportive environment. When the book was finally completed, the team felt accomplished and excited. They knew they had created something special that could help families all over the world. The therapist's heartfelt wish was for this book to get into the hands of all those seeking support and guidance. Their message to readers was clear. Families are our hearts, and they deserve only the best. We hope this book helps you on your journey to a happier and more harmonious family. You are not alone, and you have the power to make positive changes. We wish you all the best on your journey, and may your home always be filled with love, understanding, and joy. With this heartfelt desire and a strong belief that every family has the potential to experience wonderful changes, the therapists were excited to share their book with the world as a source of inspiration and support for anyone striving for a more fulfilling family life. Introduction to Montessori Pedagogy. The discovery of an innovator. Many years ago, in a picturesque village in Italy, an extraordinary woman named Maria Montessori was born. As she grew up, her passion for medicine led her to become one of the first women in Italy to study medicine. But Maria Montessori had another passion that had a decisive influence on her professional career: the education of children. Her journey into education began when she worked in a psychiatric hospital with children with developmental disabilities. In this environment, where many had given up on the children, she discovered the uniqueness and untapped potential of each child. Maria Montessori was determined to find ways for these children to learn in a supportive environment. The birth of Montessori pedagogy. In the early 1900s, Maria Montessori opened the first Casa dei Bambini, children's house, in Rome. Here she put her educational ideas into practice. She designed an environment that was attuned to children's natural curiosity and desire to learn. In this children's house, the foundation was laid for what is now known as Montessori pedagogy, the basic principles of Montessori education. Montessori education is based on fundamental principles. In this unique environment, children learn independently and responsibly. Their senses are stimulated by specially developed materials that promote understanding and the acquisition of knowledge. The teachers in Montessori education take on a special role. They are not traditional knowledge transmitters, but observers, supporters and mentors of the children. They respect the individuality of each child and adapt their educational approaches accordingly. The Montessori age groups. Montessori education spans different age groups. Starting with toddlers through elementary school, each age group has its own environment and materials that meet the children's developmental needs. Toddlers, 0-3 years. Special emphasis is placed on care and education, with an emphasis on creating a prepared environment that promotes sensory perception and freedom of movement. Kindergarten children 3-6 years. In the so-called Casa dei Bambini, the children begin to develop basic academic skills such as reading, writing and arithmetic. Primary school children 6-12 years. During this stage, Montessori schools emphasize the development of moral awareness, social skills and inquiry-based learning. Children have more freedom in choosing their activities and projects. The spread of Montessori pedagogy. Montessori education has spread worldwide over the years and is now present in many countries. Montessori schools offer children the opportunity to learn independently and develop their individual abilities in a supportive environment. The influences of Maria Montessori and her innovative educational method are still felt in modern education. Once considered radical, Montessori education is now considered one of the most inspiring and effective methods of educating children. It is a tribute to the tireless commitment of Maria Montessori, who believed in the infinite possibilities of the child's mind and changed the world of education forever. Basic principles of the Montessori method. The Montessori method, developed by Dr. Maria Montessori, is based on a set of fundamental principles that form the heart of this educational approach. Here are the basic principles of the Montessori method. Respect for the individuality of the child. Montessori education places great value on recognizing and respecting the uniqueness of each child. Each child is perceived as an individual personality, with their own needs, interests and abilities. The prepared environment. The environment in which the child learns plays a crucial role. It should be designed to stimulate the child's natural curiosity and thirst for knowledge. In a prepared environment, children have access to specially designed materials and activities that promote their independence and learning. Freedom and independence. Montessori children have the freedom to choose their activities and learning goals. This freedom promotes self-responsibility and self-determined learning. The children are not forced to follow predetermined learning steps, but can choose their own learning path. Sensorimeter activities. Montessori education emphasizes the importance of sensory experiences in child development. Special materials and activities are designed to sharpen the senses and deepen the understanding of the world. The role of the teacher as a companion. Montessori teachers do not act as traditional knowledge transmitters, but as observers, supporters and mentors of the children. They monitor the interests and progress of the children and offer targeted help and guidance when it is needed. Prepared environments for different age groups. Montessori education spans different age groups, from toddlers to elementary school children. Each age group has its specially designed environment and materials that meet the children's developmental needs. The importance of self-correction and self-evaluation. Montessori materials are designed to help children recognize their own mistakes and correct them independently. This promotes self-evaluation and problem-solving skills. A holistic approach to education. In Montessori education, education is not limited to academic skills. It also includes the social and emotional development as well as the moral education of children. Montessori schools emphasize the promotion of social responsibility and empathy. The basic principles of the Montessori method are primarily aimed at seeing the child as an active, curious learner and promoting his or her natural development. The method has gained recognition worldwide and is successfully used in many schools and educational institutions. It inspires not only children but also adults to look at the world around them with open eyes and a respectful heart. Applicability to babies and toddlers. The Montessori method was originally developed for preschool and elementary school children, but it has also been expanded to include early childhood development for babies and toddlers. Here is how the Montessori method can be applied to babies and toddlers. The prepared environment. The Montessori method emphasizes creating a prepared environment that encourages independence and independent learning. This principle can be applied to babies by creating a safe, stimulating environment where the baby can actively explore. A baby room or play area should provide age-appropriate toys and materials that target sensory development. Sensory training. Montessori education places a lot of emphasis on developing the senses. This can also be applied to babies and toddlers by giving them materials and activities that stimulate their senses. This can include sensory toys, mobile toys, tactile books and other materials that appeal to sight, hearing, touch and taste. Freedom and independence. Even with babies and toddlers, it is important to give them space and freedom to explore their surroundings and act independently. Within safe limits, they can learn to make decisions and shape their environment. Interaction with the environment. Montessori places emphasis on the child's interaction with his or her environment. This can be encouraged through activities such as changing one's own diaper when the child is ready, grasping toys and eating with cutlery. Sensorimeter activities. Montessori toys and materials are often geared towards developing children's fine motor skills. For babies, this can be simple activities such as grasping rattles or sorting shapes. For toddlers, more complex materials can be used to encourage their motor skills. The role of the adult. Adults, whether parents or caregivers, play a crucial role in the Montessori method. They observe the child, offer guidance and help when needed, and respect the child's autonomy. Language development. The Montessori method promotes language development through communication and interaction. Talk to your baby or toddler. Read books and offer conversation prompts. Everyday activities. Montessori emphasizes involving children in everyday activities. This may mean involving babies and toddlers in simple tasks such as getting dressed, tidying up toys, or preparing meals. The applicability of the Montessori method to babies and toddlers emphasizes the importance of creating a nurturing environment that supports the natural curiosity and spirit of inquiry of the youngest learners. It is about promoting the autonomy and independence of these children in order to optimally support their individual development. Preparing the environment. Preparing the environment is a central concept in Montessori education. The idea is to create an environment that encourages independent learning and children's natural curiosity. Here are some key aspects of preparing the environment according to the Montessori method. Accessibility and order. The environment should be designed to be easily accessible for the children. This means placing materials and activities on open shelves or on child-friendly tables at an appropriate height so that the children can reach them independently. The environment should also be well organized and tidy to promote children's focus and concentration. Materials and activities. The selection of materials and activities in the environment is crucial. Montessori materials are specifically designed to promote different aspects of a child's development. These materials are often self-correcting and encourage children to work independently. They include activities for fine motor development, sensory training, mathematics, language and practical living skills. Aesthetics. The environment should be aesthetically pleasing. This means that the colors, lighting and arrangement of materials should be harmonious and attractive. An aesthetic environment can inspire children to engage in it and respect it. Selection and rotation. Montessori teachers observe children's interests and needs and adapt materials and activities accordingly. Selection and rotation of materials allows children to discover new things and expand their skills. Promote independence. The environment should be designed to allow children to work independently. This means that materials are easy to handle and self-correcting. Children have the freedom to choose materials and work at their own pace. Nature and environment. Montessori education also emphasizes the importance of contact with nature and the environment. Where possible, the environment should provide access to natural materials and outdoor activities to encourage children's connection to nature. The preparation of the environment in Montessori education creates an atmosphere in which children can actively learn and explore independently. The environment serves as a third educator alongside the teachers and the children themselves. It is carefully designed to support the individual development of each child and lay a foundation for lifelong learning. Designing a Montessori-friendly home. Creating a Montessori-friendly home can help parents promote the principles of Montessori education outside of school. Here are some steps and tips to make your home Montessori-friendly. Create a prepared environment. Just like Montessori school, your home should be a prepared environment. Make sure key rooms are child-safe and well-organized. Materials and activities should be easily accessible. Free movement. Give your children the freedom to move around the house. Montessori encourages independence, and that includes independence in exploring the environment. Children's furniture. Invest in child-friendly furniture that is tailored to the size and needs of your children. This can include low tables, chairs, shelves and beds. Montessori materials. Montessori materials are specifically designed to encourage different aspects of child development. These materials can be purchased for home use and kept in a Montessori-friendly space. They include activities for developing fine motor skills, sensory training, math, language, and more. Encourage independence. Give your children the freedom to complete tasks independently. This might include getting dressed, preparing snacks, or tidying up toys. Natural materials. Use natural materials in the decor of your home, such as wooden toys, plants and natural fabrics. This promotes a connection to nature and the environment. Limited technology. Montessori values real-world experiences and interactions. Limit screen time and encourage hands-on activities and social interaction instead. Simple. Aesthetic environment. A simple and aesthetic environment can promote concentration and well-being in your children. Less is often more when it comes to decor. Living Montessori principles. As a parent, you can live the Montessori principles by showing patience, respect, and empathy in your interactions with your children. Offer guidance and support, but also allow your children to learn and explore independently. Involvement in everyday life. Involve your children in everyday activities such as cooking, setting the table or shopping. This promotes their independence and practical life skills. Creating a Montessori-friendly home can promote your children's individual development and encourage them to become curious, independent learners. It also creates an environment where the principles of Montessori education can be integrated into everyday life. Selection of suitable Montessori materials. Choosing appropriate Montessori materials is crucial to supporting the principles of Montessori education in your home or Montessori environment. Here are some basic types of Montessori materials and advice on choosing them. Sensory materials. Sensory tactile materials. These include materials such as tactile boards, texture boards, and fabric baskets that promote sensory perception and tactile learning. Sensory discovery boxes. These boxes contain materials such as shells, rocks, seeds and other natural objects that allow children to explore the natural world. Mathematics materials. Golden beads. Golden beads are a basic Montessori material for introducing mathematical concepts such as numbers, tens transitions, and the decimal system. Counting sticks. These sticks help children visualize and understand mathematical operations. Language materials. Sandpaper letters. Sandpaper letters help children recognize letters and learn to write and read. Reading materials. Montessori books and reading materials are designed to encourage reading and comprehension. Practical life materials. Practical living materials. These materials include items such as bowls, spoons, brooms and aprons that help children learn basic daily life skills such as dressing, cooking and keeping clean. Culture materials. Globes and maps. Globes and maps allow children to learn geography and explore the world. Botanical materials. Botanical materials, such as plant cards and collections of leaves and flowers, contribute to the development of an understanding of nature. Art and music materials. Art and musical instruments. Montessori also includes creative activities such as painting, drawing and playing musical instruments to support children's artistic and musical development. Tips for choosing Montessori materials. Make sure that the materials are made of natural and high-quality materials to promote sensory perception. Choose materials that are age-appropriate and meet your child's developmental needs. Start with basic materials and gradually expand the collection as your child is ready. Observe your child to determine which materials interest him or her and adjust the selection accordingly. Offer a variety of materials that cover different areas of development, from sensory perception to math and language to practical life. Create an organized and accessible environment where materials are easy to reach and children can work with them independently. The selection of Montessori materials should aim to support your child's natural curiosity and learning and create a prepared environment in which he or she can actively engage. Sensory training and perception. Sensory training and perception play a crucial role in human development and learning. This in-depth text will address these topics in a comprehensive context. Sensory training and perception. An introduction. Sensory organs are the gateways to the world. They allow us to perceive the environment and gather information through our senses. Sensory training and perception are fundamental processes that allow us to understand, learn and adapt to the world around us. The importance of sensory perception. Our senses, sight, hearing, smell, taste and touch, are key to perceiving our environment. They provide us with information about the world and enable us to respond to our surroundings. Sensory perception is a complex process that involves the detection, Processing and interpretation of sensory stimuli. The development of sensory perception begins before birth and continues throughout life. The various sensory organs mature and develop over time, resulting in a refinement of perceptual abilities. Sensory training in children. Sensory training plays a central role, especially in early childhood development. In the first few years of life, children make significant progress in their sensory perception. They learn to explore, understand and respond to the world around them through their senses. In Montessori education, developed by Dr. Maria Montessori, sensory training is considered a key component of education. Montessori materials are designed to promote sensory perception and enable children to explore the world in an independent and hands-on way. The role of sensory training in the learning process. Sensory training plays a crucial role in the learning process. When the senses are trained, children are better able to absorb and process information. This has an impact on various areas of learning, including cognitive, motor and social development. Cognitive development. Sensory training contributes to cognitive development by improving the ability to process and interpret information. Children learn to make connections between sensory stimuli, recognize patterns and understand complex information. Motor development. Sensory training also influences motor development. Children who train their senses develop better fine motor skills and hand-eye coordination. This allows them to perform complex tasks and refine their movement skills. Social development. The ability to understand one's own senses and the senses of others promotes social development. Children learn to respond to the needs and feelings of others and develop empathy. Sensory training in Montessori education. Montessori education places a special emphasis on sensory training. Maria Montessori believed that children learn and develop through sensory exploration of their environment. She developed special materials that help promote sensory training. An example of such material is the tactile boards, which contain different textures and materials that appeal to children's tactile senses. These materials allow children to improve their ability to distinguish and recognize textures. The music boards are another type of Montessori material that promotes sensory training. They contain various musical elements that children can explore to develop their listening skills. Practical applications of sensory training. Sensory training has practical applications in various areas of life. Here are some examples. Education. In school, teachers can use sensory training to help students learn. This can include using visual aids, audiobooks, and tactile materials to appeal to different learning styles. Healthcare system. In healthcare, sensory training can play a role in the diagnosis and treatment of patients. Doctors and therapists can use sensory perception to better understand their patients' needs and provide appropriate interventions. In everyday life, sensory training can help improve the quality of life. People who train their senses can, for example, be more conscious about their diet by paying attention to the taste and texture of food. Sensory training and perception in the digital age. In today's digital world, our senses are facing new challenges. The constant use of screens and the increase in virtual reality can affect sensory perception. It is important to find a balance between the digital world and the real world and to ensure that sensory training continues to be encouraged. This can be achieved through conscious sensory experience and the targeted use of sensory training materials and activities. Conclusion. Sensory training and perception are fundamental processes that influence human development and learning. Promoting these skills, especially in children, has far-reaching effects on cognitive, motor and social activities for the development of the senses. In a picturesque little town there lived a teacher named Mrs. Muller. She was an enthusiastic follower of Montessori education and firmly believed that sensory training is a key to the holistic development of children and adults. One day she decided to organize a variety of sensory development activities suitable for people of all ages. Mrs. Muller started with activities to develop the sense of sight. She invited children and adults to the local park and showed them the fascinating diversity of nature. Participants could watch birds chirping in the trees and admire the details of flowers and leaves. This helped them to sharpen their sense of sight and perceive the beauty of the world around them. To develop the sense of hearing, Ms. Muller organized an event with live music. The sounds of various musical instruments filled the room while the participants listened with their eyes closed. This helped them develop a deeper understanding of sounds and tones and learn to pay more attention to their acoustic environment. The sense of smell was trained in a fragrance workshop. Various essential oils were presented in small bottles. The participants could guess the scents and experience their effect on their mood. This not only stimulated the sense of smell, but also helped to feel relaxed and refreshed. To develop the sense of taste, Ms. Muller organized a culinary journey. The participants had the opportunity to try international dishes and explore different flavors. From spicy Indian curries to sweet French desserts, there was something for everyone. The activities to develop the sense of touch were particularly varied. There was a handicraft course in which the participants learned to work with different materials. Knitting, pottery and carving helped to develop the sense of touch and fine motor skills. In addition, yoga and meditation courses were offered that promoted physical perception and the sense of touch. These diverse sensory development activities took place regularly in the small town and attracted people of all ages. Mrs. Muller firmly believed that consciously training the senses not only contributed to personal enrichment but also to holistic development. The participants discovered a deeper connection to the world around them and developed a deeper understanding of themselves. For them, sensory training was not just an activity, but a lifelong process that expanded their perceptions and understanding of the world. The sensory development activities created a community of people who consciously took time to celebrate the beauty and diversity of sensory experiences. And so the small town flourished not only in its external splendor, but also in the internal enrichment that sensory training brought. Promote the sense of touch and feeling. Promoting the sense of touch and feeling is crucial as these senses play an important role in how we perceive and interact with the world. In this in-depth text, we will look at different activities and approaches to promote the sense of touch and feeling in people of all ages. The sense of touch. An introduction. Touch is one of the most basic human senses and allows us to explore the physical world around us. Our skin is equipped with numerous tactile receptors that respond to various stimuli, including pressure, vibration, temperature and texture. Through touch, we can feel the texture of objects, sense temperature and even perceive pain. The development of the sense of touch begins in the womb and continues throughout early childhood. Babies explore the world by touching, mouthing and feeling objects. This process contributes to the development of fine motor skills and the improvement of hand-eye coordination. In adulthood, The sense of touch is crucial for interpersonal communication, handling tools and perceiving our surroundings. The importance of touch. The sense of touch serves many important functions that go far beyond the simple perception of touch. Here are some of the key aspects that underline the importance of the sense of touch. Protective mechanism. The sense of touch serves as our first defense mechanism against potential dangers. When we feel a painful touch, we reflexively pull our hand back to avoid injury. This defense mechanism is crucial for our safety. Communication. The sense of touch plays a crucial role in interpersonal communication. A handshake, a hug or a gentle touch can express love, support and trust. The sense of touch is a key to building relationships. Fine motor skills. The development of fine motor skills, the ability to make precise movements with the fingers, is closely linked to the sense of touch. This is especially important for activities such as writing, drawing, sewing and crafts. Tactile perception. Tactile perception allows us to perceive the texture, shape and nature of objects. This information is crucial for orientation and understanding of our surroundings. Emotional regulation. The sense of touch can also play an important role in emotional regulation. A soothing touch or holding a stuffed animal can provide comfort and security. The importance of the sense of touch. The sense of touch, also called proprioception, is a lesser known but nevertheless crucial sense. It allows us to perceive the position of our limbs in space and the status of our muscles. The sense of touch plays a crucial role in coordinating movements and maintaining balance. The sense of touch contributes to the perception of pressure, tension, gravity and joint angles. This is crucial for motor control and the ability to perform precise movements. People with well-developed proprioceptive perception tend to have better body control and coordination. Activities to promote the sense of touch and feeling. Promoting the sense of touch and feeling can occur at any age and in different areas of life. Here are activities and approaches that help develop and strengthen these senses. Activities to promote the sense of touch. Texture exploration. Provide a variety of materials that have different textures, such as sandpaper, silk, wood, and plush. Participants can touch and explore these materials. Touch books. For children, touch books are a great way to explore different surface textures. They can discover textures such as velvet, felt and plastic. Sensory meals. Encourage children to experiment with different foods to develop their senses of taste and touch. Let them try foods at different temperatures, textures and flavors. Tactile art projects. Artistic activities such as finger painting, clay modeling and collages promote tactile perception and creativity. Sand and water. Playing with sand and water is not only a fun activity, but also promotes tactile perception and fine motor skills. Activities to promote the sense of touch. Balancing and coordination. Games that promote balance and coordination, such as skipping rope, hopping or balancing on a beam, contribute to the development of the sense of touch. Difficulty levels. Have participants complete varying levels of difficulty of tasks to strengthen proprioceptive awareness. This could include lifting weights, reaching for small objects, or juggling. Mindfulness. Mindfulness exercises in which participants pay attention to the sensations in their body contribute to the conscious perception of the sense of touch. Relaxation techniques. Relaxation exercises such as yoga and tai chi promote proprioceptive awareness and help you to become more aware of your own body. Therapeutic applications. For people with sensory processing disorders or certain neurological conditions, therapeutic applications such as sensory integration therapy may be helpful. This form of therapy focuses on improving perception and response to tactile and proprioceptive stimuli. Sensory experiences in everyday life. Promoting the sense of touch and feeling can be integrated into everyday life in order to continuously train sensory perception. Here are some tips on how this can be implemented in daily life. Sense of touch in everyday life. When shopping, touch different textiles, fabrics and materials in stores. Feel the differences between cotton, wool, silk and synthetics. Nature experiences. Enjoy nature and feel the different surfaces you touch, be it the sandy ground on the beach or the bark of trees in the forest. Cooking and baking. Preparing meals allows you to experience the different textures of foods, from crispy vegetable skins to tender fruits. Sense of touch in everyday life. Mindful walking. When walking or hiking, you can consciously pay attention to your step and your balance to strengthen your sense of touch. Physical activities. Sports activities such as dancing, yoga or Pilates promote proprioceptive perception and body control. Professional activities. Professions that require precise manual work, such as tailoring, craftsmen or artists, train the sense of touch. Meditation. Meditation techniques that involve focusing on the sensations in your body can promote proprioceptive awareness. The senses in harmony. Promoting the sense of touch and feeling not only helps improve sensory perception, but also contributes to the holistic development of people of all ages. Conscious use of these senses can help improve fine motor skills, increase safety, strengthen interpersonal communication and deepen the understanding of one's own physical condition. It is important to encourage and train the senses in harmony, as they are interconnected and influence each other. Developed sensory perception can increase the quality of life and help to experience the world in a deeper and more diverse way. By integrating touch and feeling activities into everyday life, we can further strengthen these important senses and reach their full potential. Promoting independence. Promoting independence is a crucial element in Montessori education and has far-reaching effects on children's development. It is about giving children the opportunity to act independently, make decisions and take responsibility for their own learning and development. However, this promotion of independence does not only extend to the educational environment, but can be applied in all areas of life. Basic principles of promoting independence. The Montessori method is based on a number of basic principles that promote independence. These include prepared environment. The environment should be designed to meet the needs and abilities of the children. Materials and activities should be easily accessible and encourage independence. Freedom and self-choice. Children have the freedom to choose from a prepared selection of activities and materials. This promotes initiative and a sense of responsibility. Self-correction. Montessori materials are designed to help children identify and correct their own mistakes. This encourages independent learning and the development of problem-solving skills. Child's learning rhythm. Montessori pedagogy respects the individual learning rhythm of each child. The teachers observe the interests and needs of the children and adapt the activities accordingly. Teachers as observers and companions. The role of the teacher in Montessori education is to observe the children, give guidance and adapt the learning environment. They support the children in learning independently. Independence in everyday life. Promoting independence is not just limited to the school context, but should be integrated into everyday life. Parents and guardians play a crucial role in developing their children's independence. Here are some approaches to promoting independence in everyday life. Duties and responsibilities. Children should be involved in planning and carrying out household chores. This may include cleaning their room, setting the table, or preparing simple meals. Freedom of choice. Give children the opportunity to make choices. This could be choosing clothes, games or activities. Even if the choices are limited, this encourages self-responsibility. Time management. Teach children how to manage their time. This may include planning activities, sticking to schedules, and prioritizing tasks. Self-care. Children should be encouraged to recognize and meet their own needs, including dressing and undressing, washing hands, and maintaining their personal hygiene. The long-term benefits of promoting self-employment. Promoting independence has long-term benefits for children's individual development. Independent children develop strong self-confidence, independence and the ability to tackle challenges on their own. They learn to exercise self-control and take responsibility for their actions. Independence also promotes lifelong learning as children develop the ability to be curious and actively seek knowledge and solutions. These skills are invaluable in all areas of life and form the foundation for personal and professional success. Montessori education shows that independence is not just an educational concept, but a way of life that enriches individual development in all phases of life. Promoting independence in childhood lays the foundation for self-confident, competent and life-affirming adults. The importance of independence and initiative. The importance of independence and initiative extends across many areas of life and plays a crucial role in personal development. Education. The world of work and social engagement. The basic aspects of these two terms are explained here. Independence. Personal independence. Independence means being able to make decisions independently and taking responsibility for one's own life and actions. It is the ability to think and act independently without constantly having to rely on external instructions or help. Self-confidence and self-esteem. The ability to act and make decisions independently promotes self-confidence and self-esteem. People who are independent have more confidence in their abilities and a stronger sense of self-efficacy. Problem solving. Independence enables people to identify problems and find solutions. They are able to tackle challenges independently and develop creative solutions. Responsibility. Independence involves taking responsibility for one's own actions and decisions. This contributes to the development of moral and ethical behavior. Initiative. Active action. Initiative refers to the willingness and ability to take action without being asked to do so. It is the motivation to be proactive and do things on one's own initiative. Creativity and innovation. Self-initiative promotes the development of creativity and innovation. People who act with self-initiative are willing to explore new ideas and tackle existing problems in innovative ways. Entrepreneurship. In the business world, initiative is an essential part of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are known for their ability to pursue their own ideas and take risks to implement innovative business concepts. Self-motivation. Self-initiative is closely linked to self-motivation. People who act on their own initiative find the inner motivation to achieve their goals without having to rely on external pressure. Meaning in different areas of life. Education. In education, independence is an important goal. It promotes independent learning, research skills, and critical thinking. Self-initiative plays a role in choosing educational paths and goals. Working world. Independence and initiative are sought after qualities in the working world. Employers value employees who complete tasks independently, solve problems, and develop innovative solutions. Community involvement. In society, initiative is often the driving force behind charitable activities and volunteer work. People who are proactive get involved in social or environmental issues and contribute to the betterment of the community. Personal development. Independence and initiative are key to personal development. They help you achieve your individual goals, overcome challenges, and lead a fulfilling life. Overall, independence and initiative are essential skills that help to realize individual potential, achieve professional success, and have a positive impact on society. They promote the development of skills that are important at all stages of life. Practical activities for toddlers. Montessori. Montessori education places great emphasis on hands-on activities for toddlers to promote their independence, cognitive skills, and fine motor skills. Here are some hands-on activities that integrate well into the Montessori concept for toddlers. Cutting and gluing. Cutting paper and child-safe scissors allow toddlers to develop their fine motor skills by cutting paper and creating collages. They can search newspapers and magazines for pictures and cut them out and glue them onto paper. Pegging. This activity involves using small clothespins or wooden pegs to hang objects on a clothesline. It promotes hand-eye coordination and dexterity. Pushing and pulling. Toys on wheels, such as doll strollers or small wagons, encourage children to push and pull objects. This supports the development of their gross motor skills. Sorting and categorizing. Give children a collection of objects, such as colored beads or blocks, and ask them to sort the objects by color, shape, or size. This activity promotes an understanding of categorization and order. Pouring and pouring. Using small watering cans or cups, children can pour water or rice from one container to another. This exercise trains hand-eye coordination and control of movements. Spoons and scoops. Use small spoons and scoops to encourage children to move things like rice, beans, or sand from one container to another. This supports the development of fine motor skills. Cleaning up. Children can learn to take responsibility for their environment by cleaning up after playing. Montessori emphasizes the importance of order and cleanliness. Putting on and taking off doll clothes. With doll clothes, children can practice fastening buttons, opening and closing zippers, and practicing putting on and taking off clothes. Setting and clearing the table. Children can help set the table for meals and clear it afterward, which promotes their independence and social skills. Plant care. Watering houseplants or planting flowers in the garden can teach children responsibility for living things and stimulate their interest in nature. These hands-on activities are designed to encourage young children's natural curiosity and desire to explore. They also provide opportunities for independent learning and the development of life skills. An important aspect of these activities is that children can work at their own pace, building confidence and independence. Language development and communication. Montessori. The Montessori method places great emphasis on language development and promoting communication in children. Here are some principles and activities in the Montessori concept that help strengthen children's language skills and communication skills. Principles of language development according to Montessori. Mindful observation. Montessori teachers closely observe each child's language development. They pay attention to the children's individual needs, interests and progress. Sensitive response. Adults in the Montessori environment respond sensitively to children's expressions. They encourage conversation, answer questions, and offer support when children have difficulty expressing themselves. Prepared environment. The Montessori environment is designed to support language development. This includes the presence of books, word cards, writing materials, and other resources that promote language skills. Independent learning. Montessori children have the opportunity to learn and discover independently. They can choose from a variety of materials that expand their language skills. Activities for language development in the Montessori concept. Word cards. Montessori materials like word cards help children learn to recognize and write words. They can also be used to develop vocabulary and encourage reading. Phonetic work. Montessori children learn to recognize and differentiate sounds. They use phonetic materials to deepen their understanding of sounds and letters. Conversations and discussions. Montessori teachers encourage conversations and discussions. Children have the opportunity to talk about different topics and express their opinions. Reading aloud. Reading books aloud is an important part of the Montessori environment. It encourages interest in books and stories and expands vocabulary. Language games. Montessori children play language games that develop their skills in grammar, syntax and semantics. These games are often fun and interactive. Writing activities. Children learn to write letters and can write their own stories and texts. This supports the development of writing skills. Sensory tables. Sensory tables with materials such as sand, rice or water can be used to develop the tactile senses and encourage language development by having children talk about their experiences. Importance of language development and communication. Language development and communication are crucial to children's cognitive, social and emotional development. The ability to speak, listen, read and write enables children to express ideas, acquire knowledge and build relationships. Montessori education not only promotes language skills, but also the ability to self-regulate and interact socially. Children learn to communicate in a respectful and cooperative manner, which will benefit them throughout their lives. The Montessori method offers a holistic and individualized approach to language development and communication that focuses on the needs and interests of each child. This helps children become confident and competent communicators. Promoting speaking, reading and listening. Montessori. The Montessori method places great emphasis on promoting speaking, reading and listening as fundamental skills in early childhood education. Here are some approaches and activities Montessori uses to develop these key skills. Promote speaking. Free conversation. In the Montessori environment, children are encouraged to speak freely and express their thoughts and ideas. This can take place in individual conversations with teachers, but also in group discussions and circles. Word cards and picture cards. Montessori materials such as word cards and picture cards are used to expand vocabulary and establish the relationship between words and pictures. Children can pronounce the words and name the corresponding pictures. Language games. Montessori uses playful activities to encourage pronunciation and articulation. This can include rhyming games, tongue twisters, or sound exercises. Conversations about interesting topics. Children have the opportunity to talk about topics that interest them. This stimulates their curiosity and encourages them to actively participate in the conversation. Promote reading. Phonemic awareness. Montessori promotes phonemic awareness by encouraging children to identify and differentiate sounds, an important first step in reading development. Phonetic work. Montessori uses phonetic materials to help children decode words and read. This includes practicing letter and sound combinations. Reading practice. Children read materials that match their individual reading level. This allows them to read independently and develop their reading skills. Reading practice. Reading books aloud is a daily part of the Montessori environment. Children listen to stories and develop an understanding of story structure and vocabulary. Promote listening. Circles and group discussions. In Montessori circles and group discussions, children listen to other children and have the opportunity to listen carefully and share their thoughts. Narratives and stories. Montessori teachers tell stories to children and allow them to listen and empathize with the action. Mindful conversations. Children learn to listen carefully to others and develop respect for others' opinions and ideas. This contributes to the development of social skills. The Montessori method emphasizes the importance of an individualized approach to learning, where children work at their own pace and according to their interests. This not only promotes language skills, but also contributes to the development of personality and social skills. Speaking, reading and listening are integral parts of the Montessori educational process and lay the foundation for lifelong learning and communication. Sign language and communication techniques. Montessori. The Montessori method values diversity and individuality and therefore also encourages the use of sign language and alternative communication techniques for children who are better able to communicate this way due to hearing difficulties, communication disorders, or other challenges. Here are some approaches and practices in the Montessori concept that support the use of sign language and communication techniques. Integration of sign language and communication techniques. Sign language. Montessori environments can introduce sign language as an additional method of communication. This allows children who have hearing problems or difficulty speaking to express themselves more effectively. Teachers and other children can also learn the basics of sign language to facilitate communication. Alternative communication devices. Montessori can provide alternative communication devices such as picture cards or digital communication aids. These devices help children communicate their needs and thoughts, especially if they have difficulty speaking. AAC. Montessori encourages the use of AAC techniques, where children use visual, auditory, or tactile aids to express their needs and thoughts. This may include symbols, buttons, or pictograms. Promoting communication skills. Individual plans. Montessori creates individual educational plans that take into account the specific needs and abilities of each child. This makes it possible to provide targeted support for the development of communication skills. Community interaction. Children are encouraged to connect and support one another. In an inclusive Montessori environment, children learn to accept and appreciate the diversity of communication styles. Teacher-child interaction. Montessori teachers are sensitive and attentive to how each child communicates. They adapt their communication style to individual needs and encourage children to express themselves. Communication aids. Montessori uses visual and auditory aids to aid communication. These include boards, symbols, and hearing aids to ensure children are able to participate in lessons and activities. Importance of sign language and communication techniques. The integration of sign language and alternative communication techniques into the Montessori method helps to promote inclusion and participation for all children. It allows children to express themselves, feel understood, and actively participate in the learning process. The use of sign language and alternative communication aids emphasizes the diversity of communication styles and respects the individuality of each child. Montessori education places great emphasis on holistic education and promotes the development of social, emotional, and cognitive skills. The inclusion of sign language and communication techniques is another step to ensure that all children receive the best possible education and can fully develop their abilities. Motor development. Montessori. The Montessori method values diversity and individuality and therefore also encourages the use of sign language and alternative communication techniques for children who are better able to communicate this way due to hearing difficulties, communication disorders, or other challenges. Here are some approaches and practices in the Montessori concept that support the use of sign language and communication techniques. Integration of sign language and communication techniques. Sign language. Montessori environments can introduce sign language as an additional method of communication. This allows children who have hearing problems or difficulty speaking to express themselves more effectively. Teachers and other children can also learn the basics of sign language to facilitate communication. Alternative communication devices. Montessori can provide alternative communication devices such as picture cards or digital communication aids. These devices help children communicate their needs and thoughts, especially if they have difficulty speaking. AAC. Montessori encourages the use of AAC techniques, where children use visual, auditory, or tactile aids to express their needs and thoughts. This may include symbols, buttons, or pictograms. Promoting communication skills. Individual plans. Montessori creates individual educational plans that take into account the specific needs and abilities of each child. This makes it possible to provide targeted support for the development of communication skills. Community interaction. Children are encouraged to connect and support one another. In an inclusive Montessori environment, children learn to accept and appreciate the diversity of communication styles. Teacher-child interaction. Montessori teachers are sensitive and attentive to how each child communicates. They adapt their communication style to individual needs and encourage children to express themselves. Communication aids. Montessori uses visual and auditory aids to aid communication. These include boards, symbols, and hearing aids to ensure children are able to participate in lessons and activities. Importance of sign language and communication techniques. The integration of sign language and alternative communication techniques into the Montessori method helps to promote inclusion and participation for all children. It allows children to express themselves, feel understood, and actively participate in the learning process. The use of sign language and alternative communication aids emphasizes the diversity of communication styles and respects the individuality of each child. Montessori education places great emphasis on holistic education and promotes the development of social, emotional and cognitive skills. The inclusion of sign language and communication techniques is another step to ensure that all children receive the best possible education and can fully develop their abilities. The Montessori method promotes the motor development of children because it takes a holistic approach to education and emphasizes the importance of physical activity and movement in childhood. Here are some principles and activities in the Montessori concept that help support the motor development of children. Principles of motor development according to Montessori. Free movement. In Montessori environments, children have the freedom to move and develop their physical skills. This includes climbing, balancing, running, jumping and other motor activities. Prepared environment. Montessori environments are designed to support motor development. They provide safe and challenging spaces in which children can explore their motor skills. Self-regulation. Montessori encourages children to recognize and regulate their physical needs independently. This means that children learn when they need to move and when rest is appropriate. Gross and fine motor skills. Montessori supports the development of both gross motor skills, for example, climbing on play equipment, and fine motor skills, for example, working with Montessori materials such as beads or puzzles. Activities for motor development in the Montessori concept. Movement space. Montessori environments often have special movement spaces where children can develop their motor skills. These can include climbing frames, balance beams and other activities. Montessori materials. Many Montessori materials require fine motor skills to use. For example, children may need to string beads, put together puzzles, or trace sandpaper letters. Outdoor activities. Montessori emphasizes outdoor activities. Children have the opportunity to play in the garden, explore nature and play sports to develop their motor skills. Movement games. Montessori encourages games and activities that develop physical dexterity and coordination. These include games such as sack racing, skipping rope and ball games. Daily tasks. Children learn to perform everyday tasks such as getting dressed, tying shoes, and setting the table. These activities promote fine motor skills and independence. Mindful movement. Montessori teaches children to be mindful of their own bodies and to listen to their needs. This includes rest breaks and relaxation exercises. Importance of motor development. Motor development is crucial for the holistic development of children. It not only contributes to physical fitness, but also has an impact on cognitive and social skills. Children who develop their motor skills well are often better able to concentrate, complete tasks and master social interactions. Montessori education promotes motor development through active, child-centered activities and creates an environment in which children can develop their skills naturally. This strengthens self-confidence, independence and the joy of movement, which is of great importance for the child's overall development. Montessori promotes fine and gross motor skills. The Montessori method places great emphasis on promoting both fine and gross motor skills in children, as these skills play a crucial role in holistic development. Here are some principles and activities in the Montessori concept that help support both fine and gross motor skills in children. Principles for promoting motor development according to Montessori. Individual learning path. Montessori recognizes the diversity of developmental stages in children and enables each child to find their own pace in the development of fine and gross motor skills. Independence. Montessori encourages children to act independently and use their motor skills to complete tasks of daily life. This promotes self-confidence and independence. Prepared environment. Montessori environments are designed to support motor development by providing materials and activities that challenge and encourage fine and gross motor skills. Mindful observation. Montessori teachers closely observe children's progress and recognize when they need support or can take on new challenges. Activities to promote fine motor skills in the Montessori concept. Montessori materials. Montessori materials are designed to develop fine motor skills. For example, working with beads, writing with sandpaper letters or sorting geometric shapes require precise finger movements. Natural materials. Children have the opportunity to work with natural materials such as wood, stones and sand, which challenges their fine motor skills in many ways. Crafts and arts and crafts. Cutting, gluing, painting and crafting promotes children's fine motor skills and creativity. Activities to promote gross motor skills in the Montessori concept. Climbing equipment. Montessori environments can provide climbing frames and play equipment on which children can develop their gross motor skills, strengthen their muscles and improve their balance. Movement games. Outdoor games such as catching, hopping, jumping and balancing promote gross motor skills and social interaction. Gardening. Working in the garden, planting, digging and caring for plants, requires physical activity and contributes to the development of gross motor skills. Sports activities. Montessori can include sports activities such as football, basketball, tennis and yoga in the curriculum to promote gross motor skills and develop coordination skills. Importance of fine and gross motor skills. The development of fine and gross motor skills is crucial for children's physical, cognitive and social development. Fine motor skills enable children to complete precise tasks such as writing, drawing and working with small objects. Gross motor skills are essential for movements and activities such as running, jumping, balancing and playing outdoors. Montessori education encourages motor development through a variety of activities and materials that challenge children and expand their skills. This holistic approach helps children become confident, independent and physically active learners who are able to move successfully in their environment. Activities to improve coordination. Montessori. The Montessori method integrates targeted activities to improve children's coordination. Good coordination is crucial for motor development and the ability to manage tasks of daily living. Here are some activities and principles in the Montessori concept that promote coordination. Principles for promoting coordination according to Montessori. Individual needs. Montessori recognizes the diversity of individual needs and developmental stages. Each child is encouraged to develop coordination based on their individual requirements. Mindful observation. Montessori teachers observe children closely to determine which areas of coordination need improvement. This allows them to offer targeted support. Free movement. Montessori allows children to move freely and choose activities that challenge and improve their coordination. Activities to improve coordination in the Montessori concept. Balancing. Children have the opportunity to balance on beams, boards or lines. This promotes balance and coordination. Small motor activities. Montessori materials such as screwing and cutting with children's scissors require precise hand-eye coordination. Physical games. Games that require children to control their bodies, such as jumping over obstacles or imitating animals, promote coordination. Dance and rhythm. Children learn dance steps and develop a sense of rhythm and movement coordination. Sports and ball games. Playing sports such as football, basketball or tennis trains the coordination of eyes and hands or feet. Fine motor activities. Working with Montessori materials, such as placing beads on a string, improves fine motor coordination. Importance of coordination. Coordination is crucial for the physical, cognitive and social development of children. It influences the ability to complete daily tasks, perform movements skillfully and move safely in the environment. Good coordination also contributes to the development of fine and gross motor skills. Montessori education promotes coordination by providing targeted activities and materials that challenge children and expand their skills. This is done in a child-centered, playful way that promotes the joy of movement and independence in completing everyday tasks. Developing good coordination is an important step on the path to becoming a confident and competent individual. Social and emotional development. Montessori. The Montessori method places great emphasis on the social and emotional development of children. It recognizes the importance of social skills, emotional intelligence and relationships for a well-rounded education. Here are some principles and activities in the Montessori concept that help promote the social and emotional development of children. Principles for promoting social and emotional development according to Montessori. Respect for individuality. Montessori respects the uniqueness of each child and promotes the development of a healthy self-esteem. Free choice and self-regulation. Montessori gives children the freedom to choose their activities and make their own decisions. This promotes the ability to self-regulate. Role model function. Montessori teachers serve as role models for social behavior and emotional intelligence. They show children how to resolve conflicts, show empathy and treat each other with respect. Prepared environment. Montessori environments are designed to promote social learning and emotional development by providing materials and activities that support collaboration and communication. Activities to promote social and emotional development in the Montessori concept. Collaborative work. Children often work together on projects and activities. This encourages social interaction, cooperation and sharing. Conflict resolution. Montessori teaches children how to resolve conflicts in a respectful way and how to compromise. Empathy exercises. Children learn to show empathy and understand the feelings of others by talking about their own feelings and telling stories. Everyday tasks. Children are involved in the daily tasks of the community, such as setting the table or cleaning. This promotes responsibility and a sense of togetherness. Reflection and self-awareness. Montessori encourages children to reflect on their own feelings and actions. This helps them develop a strong sense of self. Free play. Montessori gives children time and space for free play, where they develop their social skills and build relationships with their peers. Importance of social and emotional development. Social and emotional development is crucial for well-being and successful integration into society. It influences the ability to build relationships, show empathy, manage conflicts and learn self-regulation. Good social and emotional development also promotes self-confidence and self-acceptance. Montessori education emphasizes the importance of social and emotional skills and creates an environment where children can learn to respect themselves and others. This helps them become confident, compassionate and socially competent individuals who are able to understand their feelings and communicate effectively with others. Community and social interaction. Montessori. The Montessori method places great emphasis on promoting community and social interaction among children. It creates an environment where children learn to understand and appreciate the importance of social relationships and cooperation. Here are some principles and activities in the Montessori concept that help promote community and social interaction. Principles for promoting community and social interaction according to Montessori. Respect for diversity. Montessori promotes respect for the diversity of children's individual abilities, interests and backgrounds. This creates an inclusive community. Free choice and self-regulation. Montessori gives children the freedom to choose their activities and make their own decisions. This promotes the ability for self-regulation and independence. Sense of community. Montessori encourages children to take responsibility for their environment and their community. This includes sharing tasks such as setting the table or cleaning. Conflict resolution. Montessori teaches children how to resolve conflicts in a respectful way and how to compromise. This promotes harmonious coexistence. Activities to promote community and social interaction in the Montessori concept. Collaborative work. Children often work together on projects and activities. This encourages social interaction, cooperation and sharing. Joint activities. Montessori encourages group activities such as reading in groups, learning together and making music to strengthen the sense of community. Morning circle. In many Montessori settings, there is a daily morning circle where children come together to greet each other, sing, and plan activities. Community projects. Children work on joint projects that promote cooperation and community spirit, such as planting a garden or organizing events. Festivals and celebrations. Montessori creates opportunities for festivals and celebrations where children and parents come together to strengthen the community. Mutual help. Children help each other, whether it is getting dressed, learning or solving tasks. This promotes a sense of community and the sharing of skills. Importance of community and social interaction. The ability to interact socially and experience community are crucial for children's development. They learn to build relationships with others, show empathy and coexist in a group. Community and social interaction also promote self-regulation, understanding of diversity and teamwork. Montessori education emphasizes the importance of community and social interaction by creating an environment where children can experience respectful interaction and teamwork. This helps them become responsible, socially competent and open-minded individuals who are able to function successfully in the community and society. Emotional intelligence and self-regulation. Montessori. The Montessori method places great emphasis on promoting emotional intelligence and self-regulation in children. It recognizes the importance of emotional development and how it affects social and cognitive development. Here are some principles and activities in the Montessori concept that help promote emotional intelligence and self-regulation. Principles for promoting emotional intelligence and self-regulation according to Montessori. Mindfulness. Montessori teaches children to be mindful of their own feelings and the feelings of others. This promotes understanding and empathy. Free choice and self-regulation. Montessori gives children the freedom to choose their activities and make their own decisions. This supports the development of self-regulation and self-control. Conflict resolution. Montessori encourages children to resolve conflicts in a respectful manner and to compromise. This promotes emotional intelligence and the ability to self-regulate. Prepared environment. Montessori environments are designed to provide materials and activities that support emotional development. Children have opportunities to process their feelings through creative expressions. Activities to promote emotional intelligence and self-regulation in the Montessori concept. Emotion cards. Children can use cards or pictures to express their feelings and learn how to manage emotions. Shared conversations. Montessori teachers have conversations about feelings and encourage children to talk about their own feelings. Creative expression. Children have the opportunity to express their feelings through art and creative activities, which helps them process emotions. Conflict resolution exercises. Children learn to resolve conflicts in a respectful manner by role-playing conflict situations and developing solutions. Mindfulness exercises. Children are introduced to mindfulness exercises such as meditation and breathing exercises to promote self-regulation. Importance of emotional intelligence and self-regulation. Emotional intelligence and self-regulation are critical skills for well-being and success in life. Children who develop emotional intelligence are able to understand, express and control their own feelings. They are also able to show empathy for the feelings of others and succeed in social relationships. Montessori education emphasizes the promotion of emotional intelligence and self-regulation by creating an environment in which children learn to accept and constructively deal with their feelings. This helps them become confident, empathetic and socially competent individuals who are able to respect their own needs and the needs of others. Montessori-style parenting. Mindful observation. Montessori parents observe their child mindfully to identify their strengths, weaknesses and interests. This allows support to be tailored to the child. Cooperation and communication. Parents and educators work together to create a consistent parenting structure. Open communication is crucial to understanding and meeting the child's needs. Role model function. Montessori parents serve as role models for respectful behavior and show how to resolve conflicts and how to treat each other with care. Montessori-style parenting practices. Preparing the environment. Montessori parents design the home environment to encourage their child's independence and learning. They provide Montessori materials and create order, freedom and self-regulation. Parents give their child the freedom to choose their activities and make decisions to a certain extent. They encourage self-regulation and independence. Collaborative learning. Montessori parents participate in their child's learning process and support them in acquiring new skills. They encourage them to ask questions and explore. Mindful communication. Parents listen carefully and answer their child's questions. They encourage verbal communication and expressiveness. Importance of Montessori-style parenting. Montessori-style parenting emphasizes the partnership between parents and educators to provide the best possible support for the child. This promotes healthy development and strong self-confidence in the child. Parents learn to respect and encourage their child's needs and interests, which leads to positive and respectful interactions with one another. Montessori education values the role of parents as an important influence on the child's education and social development. Parents are partners in creating an environment in which the child can develop his or her full potential. The collaboration between parents and educators makes it possible to support and encourage the child as a whole. The role of parents in Montessori education. The role of parents in Montessori education is crucial and differs in some aspects from traditional approaches to education. Montessori views parents as essential partners in their child's education and development. Here are some key aspects of the role of parents in Montessori education. Partnership and cooperation. Montessori promotes a partnership relationship between parents and educators. Parents are seen as partners who actively participate in their child's education and work together with the educators. Mindful observation. Parents are encouraged to observe their child mindfully in order to identify their interests, needs and strengths. This makes it possible to tailor support to the needs of the child and to support the child individually. Respect for individuality. Montessori parents respect their child's individuality and encourage their independence. They recognize that every child has different needs and interests. Role model function. Parents serve as role models for respectful behavior and mindful interaction. They show how to resolve conflicts, show empathy and treat each other respectfully. Preparing the home environment. Montessori parents design the home environment to encourage their child's independence and learning. They provide Montessori materials and create order, freedom and self-regulation. Parents give their child the freedom to choose their activities and make decisions to a certain extent. They encourage self-regulation and independence. Collaborative learning. Montessori parents participate in their child's learning process and support them in acquiring new skills. They encourage them to ask questions and explore. Mindful communication. Parents listen carefully and answer their child's questions. They encourage verbal communication and expressiveness. The role of parents in Montessori education is active and committed. They are not just spectators, but active participants in their child's educational process. The partnership between parents, child and educators creates a supportive environment in which the child is supported as a whole and encouraged to develop his or her potential. Parents become important companions on their child's educational path. Learning and experiencing together Montessori. In Montessori education, shared learning and experience is considered an important part of children's education and development. The Montessori method creates an environment in which children have the opportunity to learn with each other, cooperate and share experiences. Here are some principles and activities that promote shared learning and experience in the Montessori style. Principles of shared learning and experience in Montessori education. Cooperation and social interaction. Montessori places emphasis on the social development of children. She encourages children to work together, exchange ideas and support one another. Sense of community. Montessori promotes a sense of belonging to a community. Children learn to take responsibility for their environment and to cooperate. Mutual learning. Children learn not only from adults, but also from each other. The diversity of experiences and skills in the group enriches learning. Responsibility and cooperation. Children take joint responsibility for caring for the environment and the Montessori materials. They learn how cooperation contributes to harmonious coexistence. Activities to promote shared learning and experience in the Montessori concept. Joint projects. Children work on joint projects and activities in which they cooperate and share their knowledge. Learning together with Montessori materials. Children can work together with Montessori materials and support each other. Cooperative games. Montessori encourages cooperative games in which children work together to achieve goals and solve problems. Joint activities during free play. Children have the opportunity to play and learn together during free play. Morning circles. Many Montessori settings have daily morning circles where children come together to greet each other, sing, and plan activities. Community festivals and celebrations. Montessori creates opportunities for festivals and celebrations where children and parents come together to strengthen the community. Importance of learning and experiencing together. Learning and experiencing things together in Montessori education promotes the social and emotional development of children. They learn how to work together in a group, resolve conflicts, show empathy and take responsibility for the community. Learning together also strengthens the children's sense of community and self-confidence. Montessori education emphasizes the importance of shared learning and experience by creating an environment where children have the opportunity to learn from each other and grow as a community. This helps them become respectful, cooperative and socially competent individuals who are able to function successfully in society. Everyday life and practice Montessori. The Montessori approach emphasizes the integration of Montessori principles into everyday life and practice to create an environment where children can learn and develop independently. Here are some key aspects of everyday life and practice in the Montessori concept. Everyday life and practice in the Montessori concept. Prepared environment. The Montessori environment is carefully prepared to encourage children's independence and independent learning. Montessori materials are easily accessible and attractively presented. Free choice. Children have the freedom to choose their activities and materials. They decide what they want to work with and at what pace they learn. Individual learning. Montessori promotes individual learning, where each child can follow his or her own interests and abilities. Teachers observe the children and adapt the support. Concentration. Children are encouraged to concentrate on their tasks and complete them. This promotes self-regulation skills. Repetition. Montessori recognizes the importance of repetition in the learning process. Children have the opportunity to repeat tasks as many times as they feel necessary. Promoting independence. Children are encouraged to complete everyday tasks such as dressing, setting the table and cleaning independently. This promotes their independence. Mindful observation. Teachers carefully observe the children to identify their needs and interests. This makes it possible to tailor support to the individual. Sense of community. Montessori promotes a sense of community by having children work together, take responsibility for their environment and resolve conflicts respectfully. Materials and activities. Montessori materials are designed to engage the senses and facilitate learning. They are structured and self-explanatory. Self-assessment. Children learn to evaluate themselves and recognize their own progress. This promotes self-confidence. Importance of everyday life and practice in the Montessori concept. Everyday life and practice in the Montessori concept are aimed at creating an environment in which children can learn independently, build self-confidence and develop their skills. This promotes children's independence, concentration, self-regulation and social skills. Montessori teaches children to take responsibility for their environment and to actively participate in their own learning process. Montessori education values the importance of everyday life and practice by creating an environment where children can learn at their own pace and according to their own interests. This allows them to develop into independent, curious and responsible individuals. Practical tips for implementing Montessori at home. Montessori education can also be successfully implemented at home to promote your child's individual development and learning. Here are some practical tips on how to integrate Montessori principles into your home. Create a prepared environment. Designate an area in your home that is accessible to your child and contains Montessori materials and everyday objects that he or she can use independently. This can be an area for toys, books and activities. Allow freedom of choice. Allow your child to choose his or her activities and materials. Make sure the items selected are age appropriate and safe. Order and structure. Keep the environment neat and well organized to give your child a sense of overview and control. Use shelves, baskets and containers to keep things easily accessible and organized. Promote independence. Encourage your child to complete everyday tasks independently, such as getting dressed, setting the table, and tidying up. Offer help and guidance when needed, and then let him or her work independently. Mindful observation. Observe your child carefully to identify his interests and needs. Provide materials and activities that match his interests. Support concentration. Encourage your child to focus on one activity without interruption. Avoid distractions and provide a quiet space for focused work. Collaborative learning and experiences. Provide opportunities for shared activities and projects in which your child learns and practices collaboration with others. Sensory materials. Provide materials that engage the senses and encourage sensory development, such as puzzles, Montessori sensory materials, and natural materials. Self-evaluation. Encourage your child to evaluate himself and recognize his own progress. Praise his efforts and successes. Sense of community. Emphasize the importance of respect, empathy and responsibility for the community. Teach conflict resolution and sharing responsibility. Books and reading time. Encourage a love of reading by providing a variety of books and incorporating regular reading time into the daily routine. Nature experiences. Use nature as a learning environment. Outdoor activities such as walking, gardening and nature observation promote curiosity and understanding of the environment. Implementing Montessori principles at home requires patience, flexibility, and mindfulness. Every child is unique, and adapting Montessori principles to your child's individual needs and interests is crucial. Be sure to create a supportive and loving environment where your child can learn and grow at their own pace. Examples of Montessori activities for different age groups. Different age groups. For toddlers, 1-3 years. Pouring and pouring. Provide your child with small jugs and cups and invite them to pour water from one container to another. This promotes fine motor skills and concentration. Sorting shapes. Offer your child wooden shapes and matching holes into which they can insert the shapes. This promotes shape recognition and hand-eye coordination. Everyday tasks. Let your child help with simple everyday tasks such as setting the table, washing up or tidying up. This gives them a sense of independence and responsibility. For kindergarten children 3-6 years. Sandpaper letters. Sandpaper letters allow children to feel and trace letters to learn to write and read. Number board. A number board with number cards and colored beads helps children grasp math concepts such as counting, addition, and subtraction. Geography puzzles. Montessori geography puzzles allow children to learn about the continents, countries and their capitals. For elementary school children 6-12 years. Self-directed research. Have children conduct self-directed research projects in which they ask questions, conduct experiments, and gather information. Create a timeline. Children can create a timeline to organize and understand historical events. Practical life skills. Teach children how to cook meals, sew, repair, and develop basic craft skills. For teenagers, 12+ years. Self-directed learning. Teens can choose topics that interest them and learn in a self-directed way. This might include researching a project, writing a book, or learning a new skill. Discussion and debates. Encourage youth to discuss and debate current issues to promote critical thinking and communication skills. Internships and volunteering. Support young people to undertake internships or volunteer work in areas that interest them to gain practical experience. Montessori education places great emphasis on individual learning and the development of independence and personal responsibility. Activities can be adapted to the child's interests and abilities to promote the joy of learning and enable a holistic education. The importance of Montessori pedagogy for early childhood development. Montessori education plays a significant role in early childhood development and education. It emphasizes respect for the uniqueness of each child and promotes individual development in the crucial early years. Here are some key aspects of the importance of Montessori education for early childhood development. Respect for the child. Montessori education is based on deep respect for the child. This creates an environment in which children feel safe and valued. Positive self-esteem is crucial for healthy development. Independence and personal responsibility. Montessori encourages children to work independently and take responsibility for their activities. This promotes the development of personal responsibility, self-confidence and organizational skills. Free choice and self-determination. Children have the freedom to choose activities and materials according to their own interests and needs. This allows them to pursue their curiosity and develop intrinsic motivation. Sensory learning. The Montessori environment is rich in sensory materials that encourage the development of the senses, which is crucial for early brain development and perceptual skills. Action-oriented learning. Montessori emphasizes action-oriented learning, where children learn through concrete experiences. This promotes the understanding and implementation of concepts. Social interaction and peace education. Montessori promotes social interaction and learning conflict resolution strategies. This is important for social and emotional development. Emphasis on creativity. Montessori allows children to be creative and find their own solutions. This promotes creative thinking and problem-solving skills. Respect for the environment. Montessori teaches children to respect and protect the environment. This promotes environmental awareness and sustainability. Holistic education. Montessori pedagogy views education as a holistic process that includes cognitive, emotional, social and physical development. This supports the all-round development of a child. Preparation for life. Montessori encourages children to learn practical life skills that will be useful to them in everyday life and in the future. Montessori education offers a holistic approach to early childhood education and promotes the individual development of the child. It creates an environment in which children experience joy in learning, develop critical thinking, and build a strong foundation for their future education and social engagement. The importance of Montessori education for early childhood development lies in its support of the holistic development of the child and its focus on respect, personal responsibility, and self-determination. 250 activities for home Montessori 0-13 years. Here you will find many home activities for children aged 0 to 13 that can help them. For toddlers, 0-3 years. Exploring textures. Offer a variety of materials with different textures, such as fabrics, brushes, wood and paper, so your child can feel the different surfaces. Sorting games. Give your child objects of different shapes or colors and let them sort them. This promotes fine motor skills and pattern recognition. Toy rotation. Change toys regularly to keep your child curious and give him the opportunity to experiment with different materials. Water activities. Let your child play with water in a shallow bowl. Give them cups, scoops and watering cans to practice pouring and scooping. Nature observations. Take your child outside to discover nature. Observe birds, flowers and insects together. Mirror games. Set up a child-safe mirror so your child can look at themselves. This promotes self-recognition and social interaction. Music and rhythm. Offer musical instruments such as rattles, drums and xylophones to help your child develop a sense of sound and rhythm. Building blocks and stacking games. Give your child building blocks and blocks to build towers and explore stacking concepts. Shadow and light games. Use a flashlight to cast shadows on the wall. Your child can try to catch the shadows and understand how light works. Gardening. Let your child help in the garden. They can plant flowers, dig soil and do small tasks to care for plants. Sponge transfer. Place 2 bowls of water in front of your child, one with a sponge and the other empty. Your child can soak the sponge in the water and then squeeze the water into the empty bowl. This promotes fine motor skills and the understanding of volume. Sensory Play-Doh. Prepare homemade Play-Doh with different scents or textures for your child to mold and experiment with. Flashlight games. Let your child play light and shadow games in a dark room with a flashlight. They can try to project shapes and patterns onto the wall. Musical treasures. Fill glasses or containers with different amounts of water and let your child tap them with a spoon to create different sounds. Looking at photos. Create a small photo album with pictures of family members, pets and places your child knows. You can look at the photos together and talk about the people and places depicted. Discover natural materials. Collect natural materials such as leaves, stones, flowers and cones and let your child touch and explore them. Small household tasks. Your child can perform small tasks such as mopping the floor with a small broom or wiping surfaces with a soft cloth. Waste separation game. Offer your child recycling materials and explain how to separate them. Have your child put the materials in the appropriate containers. Putting on clothes. Show your child how to dress and undress themselves. This promotes independence and fine motor skills. Meditation and relaxation. Use simple breathing and relaxation exercises to help your child calm down and focus his or her attention. Rocking horse or seesaw. A rocking horse or seesaw offers the opportunity to move and promotes balance. Small watering can and plants. Your child can water small plants or flowers in the house or garden, which promotes a sense of responsibility and connection to nature. Mirror games. Place several mirrors of different sizes and shapes in your child's environment. Your child can look at themselves and use the mirrors to explore light and shadow. Exploring fruits and vegetables. Let your child explore different fruits and vegetables with his hands. He can discover their texture, color and smell. Nesting game. Offer different containers and objects that can be put into the containers. Your child can sort objects and put them into different containers. Sound bottles. Fill clear plastic bottles with rice, beans or other materials and close them tightly. Your child can shake the bottles and hear the different sounds. Colored rice grains. Color rice grains in different colors using food coloring. Your child can use them in different activities such as sorting, scooping and pouring, folding tablecloths and napkins. Show your child how to set the table and fold napkins. This promotes practical life skills. View photos in books or on cards. Create books or cards with photos of family and friends. Your child can look at the photos and learn the names of the people. Washing small dolls or stuffed animals. Provide a small tub of water and some soap so that your child can wash his dolls or stuffed animals. This promotes care skills. Sorting colored tires. Offer different colored tires or rings and let your child sort them by color. Treasure hunt. Hide small objects in the sand or rice and let your child go on a treasure hunt to find them. Wringing out sponges. Give your child wet sponges and let them practice wringing the water out of them. This promotes fine motor skills. Simple puzzles. Offer your child simple wooden puzzles with large pieces that he or she can put together. Name tags. Create name tags for family members and have your child match the names to the appropriate people. Musical instruments. Offer a variety of musical instruments such as rattles, xylophones or drums to encourage interest in music and rhythm. Exploring fabric scraps. Give your child fabric scraps in different colors and textures to explore and play with. Spoons and bowls. Your child can practice transferring food from one bowl to another, which promotes coordination and fine motor skills. Globes and world maps. Show your child globes and world maps to give them their first insight into geography. Bathing fun with floating figures. Your child can play with floating toys and figures in the bathtub to gain fun and water experiences. Building blocks made from natural materials. Offer building blocks made from wood, stone or other natural materials so that your child can develop his or her creativity while building. Hanging laundry. Let your child hang small items of laundry such as doll clothes or bibs to encourage fine motor skills. Reading aloud and exploring books. Take time to read books aloud and look at picture books together. Discuss the stories and pictures. Small animal figures and habitats. Your child can place small animal figures in different habitats to explore the animal world. Musical treasure hunt. Hide small musical instruments around the room and let your child look for them and play with them. Mud and sand games. Outdoors. You can give your child the opportunity to play in the sand or mud and explore their senses. Exploring animal tracks. Use pictures or prints of animal tracks to help your child identify the different footprints. Collect natural materials. Go out into nature with your child and collect stones, leaves, sticks and other natural materials. Counting games with everyday objects. Your child can count everyday objects such as pillows, toy cars or building blocks to discover mathematics in a playful way. Recognizing letters and names. Show your child letters and explain how they form words together. Your child may also begin to recognize letters in his or her name. Flashlight adventure. Let your child explore and cast shadows on the wall with a flashlight. They can trace shapes and patterns. Bubble fun. Blow bubbles together and watch them float and pop. Your child can try to catch the bubbles. Cooking and baking activities. Your child can help with simple cooking and baking activities such as mixing dough, cutting soft fruits or preparing sandwiches. Doll washing. Your child can wash his dolls or stuffed animals in a small sink or bucket and then dry them. Create your own picture books. Let your child create their own picture books by sticking drawings or pictures from magazines onto paper and telling stories. Dress-up games. Have a box of dress-up items such as hats, scarves and shawls ready for your child to dress up and role-play. Recognizing animal sounds. Play animal sounds and let your child guess which animal they belong to. This promotes auditory perception. Farm or jungle sets. Offer toys and figures that depict scenes from a farm or jungle to stimulate the imagination. Cutting and gluing. Your child can use children's scissors and glue to cut and glue paper and create their own works of art. Picnic together. Have a picnic in the garden or living room and let your child help with the preparation and serving. For kindergarten children 3-6 years. Stargazing. Introduce your child to astronomy by looking at stars at night and identifying constellations. Puzzle cards. Offer your child cards with different puzzle pieces that he or she can put together to identify shapes and patterns. Letter exploration. Let your child explore letters by tracing them in sand or rice or playing with magnetic letters. Time and clock. Your child can learn to tell time using a simple clock and identify the times. Flashcards. Offer flashcards with pictures and corresponding words to encourage vocabulary building and reading. Calendars and seasons. Have your child keep a calendar and mark the seasons as well as important dates and holidays. Little researchers. Support your child in scientific experiments and observations to awaken his curiosity. Scientific collections. Your child can create a collection of rocks, leaves or other natural materials and explore them. Plants and gardening. Together you can care for plants, grow flowers and explore the life cycle of plants. Art projects. Have your child do creative art projects using different materials and techniques. Math materials. Provide math materials such as counting sticks, bead necklaces, or geometric shapes to explore math concepts. Geography and countries. Your child can use maps and globes to discover different countries and cultures. Music and rhythm. Let your child play musical instruments. Create rhythms and listen to pieces of music to develop musical understanding. Foreign languages. Introduction to foreign languages through simple words and sentences in other languages. Small repairs. Your child can learn simple repair tasks, such as assembling furniture or fastening buttons. Cooking and baking. You can cook and bake simple dishes together to promote mathematical and practical skills. Dramatic play. Provide costumes and props so your child can role-play different scenarios. Exploring the environment. Together you can explore nature. Go hiking and observe animals in their natural environment. Storytelling. Your child can create, write and illustrate stories to develop their creative writing and storytelling skills. Health and hygiene exercises. Teach your child the importance of health and hygiene, such as hand washing and healthy eating. Alphabet soups. Use magnetic letters and have your child form words by dipping the letters into a rice alphabet soup. Exploring geometric shapes. Your child can create geometric shapes from different materials and combine them to discover new patterns and shapes. Letter flashcards. Create flashcards with letters and pictures of objects that start with that letter. Your child can combine the cards and create matching words. Bee watching. Learn together about bees and their importance for nature by observing bees at work. Environmental protection project. Your child can initiate a small environmental protection project, such as collecting garbage in the park or planting trees. Theater performances. Your child can perform small plays, either alone or with siblings and friends, to encourage creative expression. Little gardeners. Together you can create a garden in which your child takes responsibility for plants and cares for them. Science experiments. Conduct simple science experiments, such as mixing colors or studying floating and sinking. Wildlife watching. Visit zoos, animal parks or observe birds and animals in the wild to expand your understanding of the animal world. Countries and cultures. Your child can explore different countries and cultures by learning about traditional clothing, music and customs. Direction and cartography. Use compass and maps to explore direction and map understanding. Color and shape sorting. Your child can sort objects by color and shape to strengthen cognitive understanding. Building musical instruments. Encourage your child to make simple musical instruments from everyday objects, such as drums from cardboard boxes or flutes from straws. Nature art. Your child can create artwork using natural materials such as leaves, flowers and sticks. Guess animal sounds. Play animal sounds and let your child guess which animal is making the sound. Entertaining little guests. Your child can organize a small tea party or a meeting with friends and entertain guests. Cities and transportation. Learn about different transportation modes and cities using maps and models. Weather observation. Your child can observe and record the weather to develop an understanding of climate and weather phenomena. Writing stories. Your child can write and illustrate their own stories to develop their writing skills. Small crafts. Provide craft materials so your child can do creative craft projects, such as making jewelry or small decorations. Outdoor math games. Use the garden or park to play outdoor math games, such as counting flowers, stones or birds. Story cards. Create cards with pictures depicting different scenes or stories and let your child use these cards to create their own stories. Exploring constellations. On clear nights, you can look at constellations in the sky and explore together which constellations there are. Art gallery visit. Visit an art gallery or museum and let your child look at and talk about works of art. Small experiments. Conduct simple science experiments, such as mixing colors or observing plant growth. Healthy eating. You can prepare healthy meals together and talk about healthy eating. Exercise and yoga. Your child can do exercise and yoga to promote body awareness and motor skills. Small household chores. Give your child chores around the house, such as setting the table, sorting laundry, or cleaning toys. Nature observation. Your child can observe and draw different plants, flowers and animals in nature. Exploring musical instruments. Let your child try out different musical instruments and explore sounds. Learning foreign languages. Introduction to a foreign language through simple words and sentences in other languages. Small repairs. Your child can learn simple repair tasks, such as fastening buttons or fixing toys. Cooking and baking. You can cook and bake simple dishes together to promote mathematical and practical skills. Dramatic play. Provide costumes and props so your child can role-play different scenarios. Exploring the environment. Together you can explore nature, go hiking and observe animals in their natural environment. Storytelling. Your child can create, write and illustrate stories to develop their creative writing and storytelling skills. Health and hygiene exercises. Teach your child the importance of health and hygiene, such as hand washing and healthy eating. Math materials. Provide math materials such as counting sticks, bead necklaces, or geometric shapes to explore math concepts. Geography and countries. Your child can use maps and globes to discover different countries and cultures. Music and rhythm. Let your child play musical instruments. Create rhythms and listen to pieces of music to develop musical understanding. For primary school children 6-9 years. Plant care and gardening. Your child can care for plants and grow vegetables in the garden or on the balcony. Nature observation. You can go on trips into nature together to observe animals and plants and take notes. Science experiments. Have your child conduct science experiments, such as studying magnetism or growing crystals. Book projects. Your child can write and illustrate their own books to develop their writing and creative skills. Cartography and orientation. Your child can use maps to explore places and develop orientation skills. Cultural experience. Visit museums, historical sites and cultural events to deepen your understanding of history and culture. Tools and crafts. Learn how to use tools together and have your child do simple craft projects. Experiments with electricity. Your child can create simple electrical circuits and understand how electricity works. Math puzzles and games. Offer your child math puzzles and games to reinforce math skills. Cooking classes. You can attend cooking classes together or prepare meals from different countries to discover the culinary diversity. Music and instruments. Your child can learn a musical instrument and develop musical skills. Foreign language learning. Introduction to foreign languages through simple conversation and basics in other languages. Crafts and sewing. Your child can learn the basics of sewing and create small projects. Microscopic observations. Let your child examine tiny organisms and structures using a microscope. Recycling projects. Your child can initiate recycling projects and understand how important recycling is for the environment. Bicycle repair. Learn the basics of bicycle repair together to develop an understanding of mechanics. Art history and painting. Your child can learn about different art styles and artists and create their own works of art in the style of famous artists. Birdwatching. Together you can observe birds and identify bird species. Astronomy. Your child can use telescopes to explore the sky and observe the stars. Environmental awareness projects. Your child can participate in environmental protection projects such as planting trees or cleaning rivers. Geographical exploration. Your child can start their own geographical project. Mark countries and continents on a world map and research interesting facts about different regions. Language development. Offer your child books at different reading levels to encourage his or her reading skills and encourage him or her to write his or her own stories. Scientific field research. Your child can conduct nature observations and field research to study plants, animals and ecological processes. Craft projects. Let your child tackle more complex craft projects such as woodworking or sewing clothes. Renewable energy experiments. Encourage your child to conduct experiments with renewable energy such as solar energy or wind energy. Economic understanding. Introduction to economic concepts such as budgeting, saving and investing. Foreign language immersion. Your child can deepen his or her foreign language skills by reading or watching books and films in the foreign language and having conversations in the foreign language. Experiments with airplanes and aviation. Your child can make paper airplanes, build model airplanes and explore the basics of aviation. Robot construction and programming. Introduction to robotics and programming of simple robots or computer programs. Historical research. Your child can research historical events or personalities and create their own presentations or projects about them. Musical composition. Your child can compose their own pieces of music and develop their musical skills. Fine arts and sculpture. Let your child experiment with different artistic media and create sculptures. Astronomy and space. Your child can gain deeper insights into astronomy and space and use telescopes to observe planets and stars. Culinary arts. Together you can cook more complex recipes and introduce your child to the finer points of cooking. Ecological projects. Your child can participate in sustainability and environmental protection projects, such as creating a school garden or participating in recycling initiatives. STEM subjects. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Your child can delve deeper into STEM subjects and conduct more challenging experiments and projects in these areas. Health and nutrition projects. Your child can start health and nutrition projects, such as planting a vegetable garden or organizing sports events. Book reviews and literary criticism. Your child can read books and write book reviews or literary criticism. Responsibility for pets. If you have pets, your child can take care of them and learn responsibility. Social engagement. Your child can get involved in social projects or non-profit organizations to promote a sense of responsibility and help others. Introduction to philosophy. Your child can learn basic philosophical concepts such as ethics, logic and morality. Media literacy. Teach your child how to use digital media and internet sources responsibly. Natural history and ecology. Together you can visit nature trails and explore the diversity of plants and animals in the area. Exploring architecture and design. Your child can learn the basics of architecture and interior design and create their own models and drawings. Caving. If you are interested, you can explore caves and learn more about geology and the underworld. Microscopic observations in nature. Let your child use microscopes to examine small organisms and natural structures. Art and music history. Your child can learn about art and music history and explore famous artists and composers. Writing workshop. Your child can write and refine their own poems, stories or essays. Ceramics and pottery. Give your child the opportunity to work with clay and create ceramic pieces. Linguistics. Your child can explore linguistic concepts and different languages. Research projects. Your child can carry out independent research projects on a topic of their choice. Computer programming and coding. Introduction to the world of computer programming and creating your own code. Theater and acting. Your child can practice acting and perform small plays. Astronomy projects. Your child can do astronomy projects, such as stargazing or exploring the solar system. Geology and rock studies. Have your child collect and study rocks to learn the basics of geology. Competitions and challenges. Your child can participate in school or extracurricular competitions that match his or her interests. Building model airplanes. Your child can build and fly model airplanes or drones. Electronics repair. Together you can disassemble and repair old electronic devices to understand how they work. Paper making and recycling projects. Your child can make their own recycled paper and create creative projects with it. Social engagement. Your child can get involved in social projects or charities to help others and take on social responsibility. These activities provide opportunities for elementary school children to explore their interests in different subject areas and develop a variety of skills. Work together to select projects that spark your child's interest and encourage them to continue to expand their knowledge and skills. For teenagers, 9-12 years. Independent research. Young people can carry out independent research projects on topics of their choice and prepare presentations about them. Robotics and programming. In-depth knowledge of robotics and programming, including building and programming more complex robots. Introduction to philosophy and ethics. Young people can engage in philosophical discussions about moral issues and explore ethical principles. Environmental protection projects. Participation in environmental protection projects such as the maintenance of nature reserves or the implementation of garbage collection campaigns. Entrepreneurship. Young people can develop business ideas, create business plans and start small businesses. Astronomy and astrophysics. In-depth study of astronomy and astrophysics, including observing the sky and exploring black holes. Artistic immersion. Advanced art and music projects to further develop creative talent. Dramatic arts and theater productions. Young people can take part in more challenging theater productions or write and perform their own plays. Language learning projects. Deepening foreign language skills by reading books and watching films in the target language. Health and nutrition projects. Young people can explore healthy eating habits, attend cooking classes and start health initiatives. Creative writing and literary studies. In-depth engagement with literary works and writing novels, poems or essays. Historical research. Deepening historical research through the study of eras, events or personalities in history. Mathematical challenges. Teens can take on more challenging mathematical challenges, such as solving complex mathematical puzzles and problems. Musical composition and performance. Composing your own pieces of music and conducting sophisticated musical performances. Electronics and engineering. In-depth exploration of electronics and engineering projects, such as building electronic circuits. Culinary arts and gourmet cooking. In-depth exploration of the culinary world and the preparation of sophisticated dishes. Engineering. Young people can get involved in engineering projects, such as building model bridges or buildings. Linguistic studies. Advanced linguistics and the study of language structures. Agricultural sciences and horticulture. Research in agricultural sciences. Agriculture and horticulture. Science journalism. Young people can write scientific articles and publish them in school newspapers or online platforms. Geopolitics and international relations. Young people can engage with global political issues and international conflicts. Philanthropy and charity work. Participation in charitable projects and support of charitable organizations. Stage technology and directing. In-depth research into stage technology, lighting and sound technology as well as the direction of theater performances. Marine biology and oceanography. Young people can explore the world of marine science and study oceans and marine life. Nanoscience and nanotechnology. Introduction to the world of nanoscience and the manipulation of matter at the atomic and molecular level. Sociology and anthropology. Study of societies and cultures and the understanding of social structures. Introduction to psychology. Fundamentals of psychology, including psychological experiments and investigations. Construction of telescopes and astronomical observations. Building your own telescopes and in-depth exploration of the universe. Travel and travel journalism. Young people can write travel reports and travel blogs and plan trips. Science Olympiads. Participation in science Olympiads or competitions in various scientific disciplines. Data science and statistics. Introduction to data analysis, statistics, and the use of data visualizations. Molecular biology and genetics. In-depth research into molecular biology and genetics, including genetic experiments. Bionics and robotics design. Young people can learn how nature inspires technology and create their own bionic or robotic designs. Art history and criticism. In-depth examination of various art movements and art criticism. Deep-sea diving and marine research. Exploring the deep sea and understanding ecosystems at great depths. Project management and business management. Young people can plan and manage projects, including budgeting and resource management. Humanities and classics. Study of ancient cultures, classics and philosophy. Literary translations. Young people can translate literary works into other languages and thus deepen their language skills. Sustainable architecture and urban planning. In-depth research into sustainable building projects and urban planning concepts. Aircraft flying and aeronautical engineering. Introduction to flying and understanding aircraft engineering. Energy efficiency and renewable energies. Young people can learn about energy efficiency and renewable energy sources such as solar energy and wind power. Microbiology and virology. In-depth research into microorganisms and viruses, including microbiological experiments. Archaeology and excavations. Young people can take part in archaeological excavations or carry out their own simulations. Space tourism and space exploration. Exploring the possibilities of space tourism and future space exploration. Behavioral economics. Introduction to the psychology of economic action and consumer behavior. Marathon running and long-distance races. Young people can prepare for running marathons and long-distance races. Philately and coin collecting. Collecting stamps and coins from different countries and eras. Geodesy and cartography. Study of land surveying and map making. Theoretical physics. In-depth exploration of theoretical physics and abstract concepts of modern physics. Stock trading and financial markets. Introduction to stock trading and understanding financial markets. Criminology and forensic science. Young people can study criminal cases and forensic investigation methods. Medical research. Investigating medical topics and conducting medical experiments. Animal behavior and ethology. Young people can study the behavior of animals and conduct ethological experiments. Sound engineering and music production. In-depth exploration of sound engineering and producing your own pieces of music. Psychological research. Young people can conduct psychological studies and plan experiments to investigate human behavior. Sports science and athletics. Research into sports performance and athletic training. Fine arts and sculpture. Advanced artistic projects, including sculpture and plastic art. Astronomical observations and telescope construction. Young people can build advanced telescopes and use them to explore celestial bodies. Robotics competitions. Participate in robotics competitions and challenges. Global leadership and diplomacy. Young people can engage with global political issues and diplomatic relations. These activities offer young people the opportunity to explore their interests and skills at an advanced level in a variety of subject areas and to pursue challenging projects. Encourage your child to choose the activities that most suit their passions and support them in developing their skills and knowledge. For young adults, 13-18 years. Research expeditions. Participation in research expeditions in fields such as environmental science, geology or marine biology. Scientific publishing. The writing and publishing of scientific articles or research papers. Attending scientific conferences. Participating in scientific conferences and presenting your own research results. Global volunteering. Involvement in international volunteer projects and non-profit organizations. Adult education. Participation in college courses or online university courses in subject areas of your choice. Curating art galleries and exhibitions. Organizing your own art exhibitions or curating galleries. Writing a book or novel. Writing your own book or novel and getting it published. Inventors and entrepreneurship. Founding your own company or startup. Scientific experiments. In-depth scientific experiments in areas such as chemistry, physics or biology. Activism and social change. Engagement in social and political activism projects. Linguistic immersion. In-depth studies in one or more foreign languages and translation of literary works. Astronomy and astrophysics research. Participation in professional astronomy projects and research in the field of astrophysics. High-performance sport. Training and participating in competitions in various sports. Music composition and production. Composing music and producing your own music albums. Robotics competitions and engineering. Participation in challenging robotics competitions and the development of engineering projects. Cultural studies and ethnography. The study of different cultures and societies. Writing for media. Writing for newspapers, magazines or online platforms. Educational research. Participation in educational research projects and working on educational reforms. Philosophical debates and discussions. Participation in philosophical discussion groups and the organization of debates. Travel and intercultural exchange. Participating in intercultural exchange programs and exploring foreign countries and cultures. Medical internship. Participating in medical internships and working in the healthcare field. Sustainable agriculture and permaculture. The study of sustainable agriculture and permaculture techniques. Humanities research. In-depth research in the humanities, such as literary studies or historical research. Screenwriting and film production. Writing screenplays and producing your own films. Biotechnology and gene editing. the study of biotechnology and gene editing techniques, political careers and youth parliaments, participation in youth parliaments and preparation for a political career, educational innovation, the development of new pedagogical approaches and educational programs, cybersecurity and ethical hacking, the study of cybersecurity and ethical hacking, computer science and artificial intelligence, in-depth study of computer science and artificial intelligence, philharmonic orchestras and music direction, participation in philharmonic orchestras and work as music director, aerospace engineering, researching aerospace engineering and working on aviation projects, quantum physics and research, in-depth study of quantum physics and theoretical research, design and fashion design, working as a fashion designer and designing your own fashion collections, volunteer work abroad, participation in international volunteer projects and aid missions, underwater exploration and diving, the exploration of the underwater world and diving in deep waters, psychiatric research and therapy, in-depth study of psychiatric research and work in therapy, quantum computing and supercomputing, the study of quantum computing and supercomputing technologies, rocketry and space research, the study of rocketry and space research, economic research and macroeconomics, in-depth study of economic research and macroeconomic studies, nanomedicine and health sciences, the study of nanomedicine and health sciences, room design and interior architecture, the design of interior spaces and the work as an interior designer, linguistics and linguistics, in-depth studies in linguistics and linguistic research, climate research and environmental protection, research into climate change and commitment to environmental protection, video game creation and programming, creating your own video game projects and programming, earth sciences and geology, the study of earth sciences and geological investigations, performing arts and theater direction, participation in theater performances and working as a director, international relations and diplomacy, in-depth study of international relations and diplomatic negotiations, video production and documentaries, the production of documentaries and video content, agricultural science and agriculture, the study of agricultural science and sustainable agriculture, educational support and reform, working on educational support projects and reforms, sports medicine and sports therapy, research into sports medicine and work in sports therapy, development aid and humanitarian aid, participation in humanitarian aid projects and development aid, theater studies and dramaturgy, in-depth studies in theater studies and dramaturgical research, electronics and electrical engineering, the exploration of electronics and electrical engineering projects, climate activism and environmental campaigns, organizing climate activism campaigns and environmental initiatives, material science and nanomaterials, in-depth study of material science and nanomaterial research, nuclear engineering and nuclear technology, the research of nuclear technology and nuclear technological developments, urban design and city planning, the design of urban spaces and the work in city planning, robot ethics and AI ethics, the study of ethical issues related to robotics and artificial intelligence, veterinary medicine and animal care, participation in veterinary courses and work in animal care. These activities allow young adults to further develop their interests and skills and pursue projects in different subject areas. Encourage them to choose the activities that most suit their passions and support them in further developing their skills and knowledge. Rights and ownership notice. This audiobook is published and distributed by Testbericht-Institut LLC. All copyrights, publishing rights, distribution rights, audio rights, and related intellectual property rights for this work have been lawfully and exclusively acquired by Testbericht-Institut LLC. Testbericht-Institut LLC is the sole and unrestricted rights holder of this audiobook, including the right to reproduce, distribute, publish, monetize, and publicly perform the content on digital platforms such as YouTube. The original manuscript files, source documents, and contractual acquisition records serve as proof of lawful ownership. The original author and/or their authorized representative, Renovatio LLC, has transferred all relevant rights to Testbericht-Institut LLC in accordance with applicable copyright and publishing law. This ownership applies to all current and future uses of this work, including audio, video, and digital publications. Effective date of rights ownership: the 1st of February 2026. Any unauthorized use, reproduction, re-upload, redistribution, or claiming of this content is strictly prohibited. Copyright Testbericht-Institut LLC. All rights reserved.